Hello everyone and welcome back to Marble Invites in Season 3, where the end is near here in this season of the Marble Invites. We're at event 10 out of 12 and we go back to another team event, another classic of the Bourne Network. It's the Biathlon. Two sections here, a gravitrax slalom section and then a shooting section where the final marble will try to go as far as possible, getting from 1 to 5 points at the end there to try to reduce the time. Hello everyone, I'm Ramen Powder from the Quadrilla Marble League, and joining me today in the commentary box is Joe from the JoViridian League.
Yes, JoViridian, whichever you want to call me. You can see here at the standings, Green Dragons jumped up 8 into 5th place, but it's still definitely a fight between those top 3. Denwatch is having a solid lead, but we'll see if that stays the same after this event.
Yes indeed, the Foresters will demonstrate this event. There's multiple aspects to this event that you need to keep in mind. There's of course the slalom section, setting the tone here. You want to be as fast as possible, make those handoffs stick. It's a bit of a relay race for the beginning of this event. And then the shooting, you want to get as far as possible down. It's half a second off your time for each point you can get. So if you get 1 second, you'll get half a second reduced, and if you get all the way to the end, 5 points for that Forester. Very nicely demonstrated for this one. They will get 2.5 seconds taken off their time. So that can really throw a wrench in the works here for some of these teams. Even if they get a great time, if they don't get a very far shot, they might not be able to get on the podium for this event. So you can see there is how much time you can reduce for each point total you can get. We're going to get started with the Laser Eyes here. The Laser Eyes, a podium in the season in the relay race, but not much else for this team. We'll see how they can do.
Yeah, let's see. There was a decent first handoff. Let's see how they go heading into the second here. Let's see. It looks decent. Oh, it's looking like both of them are going to go. We'll see how what Ref and Jeff have to say about this later. Let's see what will their shot be. It's going to be a 4. A solid start here to start the event. Let's see. You're not quite managing to get to the 5th. And we're getting word from Ref and Jeff that because of that last marble did not make contact until the shot was made, that this will not impact their score at all. So Laser Eyes go into the provisional first after the first round.
Yes, indeed. Now John Jules from the Verdian League. They got a podium back in the water race after a dismal season. They're hoping to continue that good momentum though. And it's a bit of a slower start, it seems, for the John Jules compared to the Laser Eyes. We'll see how they are at the halfway split. But they are going to want to bring this back. No, it is P1 though for them, faster than the Laser Eyes halfway through. What can they do on the shooting? It's going to be into 3.
Oh, it's not as good. Not as good as we saw the Laser Eyes do. So we'll see if the time was better enough to take the lead here. But the score is, the shooting is going to be a very big deciding point there. And yes, 3 will not be good enough for the John Jules to beat the Laser Eyes, and they will slot into second so far. Now we go to the Golden Cheeses. One of the few teams that have done this event before. We'll see if that experience helps them out.
And off they go here, leading, trying to match those fast times that we've seen in the first half. The Golden Cheeses have experience in this event, and it's going to be P1 at the halfway mark, 11.2. Can they continue that towards the ending of the course here? It will be a 4 for them, for the Golden Cheeses, so this is looking pretty good for them. Will it stack up to the Laser Eyes though? The Laser Eyes, that even if they got 4 points, we'll see what they can do here. It is P1, 15.11. The Golden Cheeses will take the lead, a team that has only gotten 1 medal of the season in the distance drag. And now we go on to the Green Dragons, just coming off a gold in the elimination race from Festus. They're lined up 3rd here. We'll see how they can stack up with the Cheeses.
Yeah, let's see here. Looking decent throughout the first section. Let's see how they take on to the second. Looking fairly fast. We'll see if it stacks up. And it's going to be P1 for now. We'll have to keep this pace if you want to challenge or get a good shot. Let's see what it will be for the Green Dragons. And that's a solid shot into 4. We've not seen a 5 yet, but that should easily put them into first place, I would presume.
Yeah, they had the fastest split time. And a 4 here is going to be good enough. Sub 15 seconds, 14.98. Now these times are getting faster and faster at the halfway split. And at the end, everyone is consistently getting 4 except for the John Jules, who got a 3. The Electric Energy, another team that has only gotten 1 podium of the season, also back in the distance drag with the silver. We'll see how this time stacks up. The times have gotten faster and faster every single run. Will it be faster here? No, it's second place behind the Green Dragons provisionally. Can they make it up in the later half? Off they go here. Will they get to the end? Yes! 5 points for the Electric Energy.
Great run here from the Electric Energy. They really needed it as well. Sitting very low down in the standings. Getting a 5 will definitely help their time that was already very solid. That's easily going to put them into 5th out of these first 5 runs. Great rocket from the Electric Energy. And now we go to the Blue Moons. Blue Moons, a bit of a cold streak, I would say. But that's some good events early in the season. Let's see if this will be one of those. And up they go.
Yeah, our winners in block pushing hasn't been great for them in the last few events. Ooh, a bit slow from that hairpin here. Can they bring it back as they go across towards the halfway split? 6th place so far. Right now, they really need to claw a lot of time back if they want to challenge for even the podium here. Is it going to be good on the shooting? Yes! 8 to the 5. Go the Blue Moons. That will cut down 2.5 seconds for them. They're only the second team today to get all the full 5-pointer in the shooting. And what's it going to be here? Still only P4 out of 6. That time really wasn't that good. Only going to be 4th place, even with a finisher there at the end.
Now we go to the Abstract Aquatics, the only team left in the field that has not gotten a podium yet. Hoping to get their first here in the 10th event of the season in Biathlon. Let's see how it stacks up for the first few handoffs. Ooh, looking decent throughout here. Let's see them taking these bridges well, and it's going to be the fastest we've seen so far. Let's see how they are down the course. Ooh, very slow there. Let's see if they can keep it up. How's the shot? And it is a 5. This could be the lead. Let's see if that slowdown was enough to lower them down. Let's see here. And yes, that will be good enough for the Abstract Aquatics to take the lead out of the first 7 runs with a 14:81. Now we go to the Starlights, our host of Marble Invite Season 3. Let's see how they do on the Biathlon.
Yeah, the Starlights very hyped in this particular event, especially in the speed section on the gravitrax here, and they're looking very speedy so far, not losing any time on the hairpins. What's it gonna be here? It's P1, sub 10 seconds at the halfway point. Now, can they bring it home with a good shooting section? We've seen multiple 5s though, and it's only gonna be a 3. Only a 3 for the Starlights after what surely is the best time we saw on the gravitrax. Is this gonna be good enough to hold on to that lead? It's gonna be a full second less of a cut from those 5s, and it's gonna be into P1. But what could have been for the Starlights, is that gonna be enough for them to hold on to a gold here? With a 3, that's still good enough to take the lead by over a 1/10 of a second on the Abstract Aquatics. Then it's the Electric Energy, but they'll be worried and hoping that the other teams can still not do enough to beat them. The Time Watchers now are championship leaders to kickstart the second half of runs here, led by Kronos. They've got a great start to the season, hoping to bring it home in this Marble Invite season. And off they go here. How will they do compared to the Starlights?
Let's see here, yeah, the Time Watchers, a very historic franchise, starting off as the athletes in the JML by winning the B League and then the A League. They have not won a tournament as the Time Watchers yet, but with this shot, this might be where they get it. This is looking very strong for them. Let's see, was their time good enough to take the lead here? Let's see, we're waiting for that score, and yes, the Time Watchers will go into the lead. This is not good for all our contenders. The Time Watchers really trying to get their first ever championship as the Time Watchers. Now we go to the Pixies.
Yeah, we were worried that the Starlights' time wouldn't be good enough to make up for that shooting, and the Time Watchers instantly take the lead from them. The Pixies now, what can they do here? Also looking very speedy on the gravitrax here. They're not losing time on the hairpins. What's going to be at the halfway split? It's P2, just behind the Starlights at this point. Still not sub 10 seconds, so we'll see what they can do on the shooting. It's going to be a 4 for them, for the Pixies. Will that stack up to the Time Watchers? The time looked very good in the gravitrax. They're only getting a 4 though. Is that going to be good enough to make up on the Time Watchers? And yes, it is! 14.24. The Pixies comfortably will take the lead. The time was so good, just barely slower than the Starlights, and the 4 point is good enough to get them in the lead. The Pixies could be on course for the second goal of the season. What can the King Crabs do? From Quack's Marble Clash here, a podium back in the first event and a podium in the last event. We'll see how they can do here, not looking as fast as the Pixies on the gravitrax here. What's going to be at the halfway point? P4 for them. Can they bring it back?
Yeah, let's see here. It's going down into the shooting. Let's see. And it will be a 5. That was a very strong shot here from the King Crabs. We'll have to see if that time was good enough to take the lead from the Pixies. They're still definitely looking like a very strong run. And let's see, and the King Crabs just barely miss out. A P2 behind the Pixies, not quite good enough to take the lead, but that does mean they move the Time Watcher down into third place. Now we go to the Scorpions, one of our algorithm teams. Let's see, the John Doles didn't do very hot. Let's see if the Scorpions can do better.
Yeah, the Scorpions, a silver back in the relay race. We'll see how they can do here. They're looking speedy on the gravitrax here. What's it going to be in the time? P3 so far. With a tough competition, that's looking great for them. But slow on that hairpin. Can they bring it back here on the shooting? It will be a 5. But the second half of that gravitrax run seemed to be losing a lot of time for the Scorpions. So I'm not sure how this will stack up compared to the Pixies, compared to the King Crabs, even compared to the Time Watchers. Will it be good enough to beat the Time Watchers? Yes, it will. Third place for the Scorpions. That bumps the Time Watchers off the podium entirely, but still not good enough to beat the Pixies or the King Crabs. Now, into the final quarter of runs here, the Pastry Party from the Biscuit Brawl, also another team that got their first medal in the last event in the elimination race at the hands of Pi. We'll see how they can do here, not looking too fast on the gravitrax here. What's it going to be at the halfway split? P11 for the Pastry Party, very slow time. They needed to bring it back a lot here in the shooting section. What's it going to be for them? Only a 2-pointer for the shooting. That's the worst shooting we've seen all event here. And the Pastry Party, absolutely disastrous run for them.
Yeah, not what we want to see here for the Pastry Party. The worst shooting and going to be last so far. Not what the Pastry Party wanted to see. After a good event last time, that's really going to drop them down once again. Now we go to the Poseidons. Changing the Time Watcher, but the Time Watcher have a very strong result, so they need to perform here. Let's see, and off they go. Let's see, looking decent throughout the first section. A bit slow there though. Let's see if they pick it up in the second. I know that's pretty slow. Let's see, how are they going provisionally here, and it's for P8. It's in the near the top half, but not quite there. No, that's very slow there. Not what you want to see for the Poseidons. And what's the shot? Only a 3. That's not a good run for them at all.
This might challenge the Pastry Party for last place. The Poseidons, it was decent in the first half of the gravitrax, killed their run in that one turn, and only a 3 is not going to do them any favors. That is P14 out of 14. Probably a contender for last place in this event. Now, Whitecaps in our penultimate run after coming off a dead last in the elimination race, hoping to get their bearings back on track here. Looks fast out of the gate. How will they do here in this very windy section? Seemed decent for them. We've seen faster, but what's it going to be at the halfway point? It's P9, not the fastest time. Can they bring this back here? Also fairly slow, not as slow as the Poseidons, but not too fast in that section. But it will be a 5-pointer at the bottom of the course. That will curb 2.5 seconds for them. So, decent in the shooting. Very solid to get the full 5 points. What's it going to be here? P6 for them. Not the fastest time, but they brought it back for sure with a 14.75.
Now we move in to the Grayscales, or challengers of the Time Watchers. Let's see if they can perform well in this event. They got a gold in the relay, so they should be well positioned here. Let's see. Off to a good start. Let's see how the contact is. Looking decent so far. We'll do that's a bit of a slow turn. Let's see if they recover here in this section. How is it provisionally? And it's only going to be 13th. This is looking very slow for the Time Watchers, Grayscales apparently. We'll see if they can salvage it in the shot. And ooh, I don't think that's going to be quite far enough for 4. It's right on the border there. We'll have to see what the scoring team decides. Let's see, yeah, you can see right in between the 3 and the 4 section. Let's see what is it. And it is a 3, which is only going to be good enough to give them 14th. Not what the Grayscales wanted here at all. But that does mean that the Pixies will be your Biathlon gold medalists.
Well done to the Pixies, their second gold of the season. The King Crabs, another medal for them in second place. And the Scorpions, another medal for them in the bronze spot. Our championship challengers, the Grayscales and the Poseidons, in the bottom 3, while the Time Watchers are still fairly up there in the standings. They're only going to stretch that lead. But well done to the Pixies, the King Crabs, and the Scorpions for making the podium in the Biathlon.
Yes, let's see. And with that, the Pixies jump up into 4th place, just 3 points behind the Poseidons, but the Time Watchers have a very strong lead. And half of our teams are already out of contention. It's going to be a very exciting last 2 events of the season. We'll see you then.